Hey guys, my name is Jess and I am one of the pastors here at Westside, and I get the chance to sit down with my friend Jennifer here to talk with you a little bit for the Midweek Motivation.
Welcome to the Midweek Motivation podcast, where we bring practical help for your faith and life. Here's today's episode.
This is my friend Jennifer.
Hi.
And how's it going?
Good.
Good. We got to sit down and, or we got to see Pastor Gabe talk a little bit about the good news and about community and getting involved in the kind of the difference that Jesus makes in our life. And so I invited my friend Jennifer here to share a little bit of her story and talk through how some of that has actually happened in her own life. And I'm really excited. Thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
Awesome. All right. So just to get started, Jennifer, how long have you been here, like attending here at Westside?
I started attending online at the beginning of this year and attended in person about the end of February.
Awesome. Awesome. I know that we've gotten a chance to really get to know each other a lot, but I would love it if you would share a little bit about your story of meeting Jesus and crossing in over into, I guess, our family, you know?
Sure. So I was not someone who was raised in the church. My father was actually an atheist, so we never attended church or did anything like that when I was growing up. But I was always curious about it. I would get a hold of the Bible and read it, or watch. We used to watch the 10 Commandments or The Greatest Story Ever Told, those movies about the Bible. And then I majored in English in college. And when you major in English, you read a lot of literature. So I was always curious and read a lot about different religions and faith. And I always believed in God, but just as kind of a concept. Mm-hmm. And when I got married out of college and I had children, I decided that they should go to church, but more as moral reasons. Like I thought they'd be good people if they would go to church. And I became what I would call a pew sitter. Mm-hmm. I would attend church and it would all go in my head. It was all very intellectual, but nothing was really going to my heart. And I was just, listening on an intellectual level. And then, long story short, my marriage started to fall apart and I had some very bad experiences and difficulties. And at that time, the church I was attending had a small church plant. And I thought, well, why don't I try that? And so the minute I walked into that little church plant, which at the time was at a school, as a lot of church plants have their meetings in a school. And I just walked in there and something just came over me. I just started connecting on a heart basis. And I started really becoming involved. I got involved with the worship team. I was working with doing the slides for the songs and things. Yeah. At some point I talked to the pastor and I really shared what was going on with some of the difficulties with my ex-husband's struggles with alcohol and some of the really bad things that were going on in my marriage. And he said, well, I think you really need to talk to a woman. And the worship pastor there, and I talked to her and we really connected. She had some of the same experiences in her life and we just automatically connected. I mean, I still consider her like my sister. And at that point, I just started diving into the Word. And I remember one evening, I just was all alone and my husband was passed out or whatever. My kids were asleep and I just got on my knees and cried and I just accepted Christ into my heart. And I felt like this physical weight being lifted off of me. And then I got baptized. And after that, I just, I don't want to say I am Paul, but I felt like Paul because during my past, I used to be one of those people who would argue about Jesus. I would argue with Christians that, Jesus wasn't who he said he was. And I try to find little points in the Bible that I could nitpick about. But after that, and after I accepted Christ in my heart, it was just like a complete turnaround of who I became. And I became an active member of the church and attended Bible study and all of that. So haven't turned around. So I'm one of those people who's in my 40s before I finally
Wow,
got there.
That's interesting. I didn't actually know that part of your story. So thanks for sharing. But so it sounds like on a very intellectual level, you had really processed faith, and then something happened, and then it went into your heart. Can you explain the difference in life before and after for you?
Well, I mean, I know Pastor Gabe talked about hope, and that really is absolutely true. I mean, before I had Jesus in my life, I really didn't have that hope. I didn't have that knowledge that there was a God who loved me and accepted me, who wouldn't judge me for anything that had happened to me or anything in my life. And I really, again, felt it in my heart. That it was true and that I had a hope for my life and for my life afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. So you, one of the things that Pastor Gabe talked about was about being able to join a family. I know that I've experienced that for myself, and it's an amazing feeling to know that somebody's got your back all the time. You know what I mean? And it's not always perfect, as families are sometimes. But is there something that you can refer back to or think on about that concept? Because I know a lot of your story as far as what you've shared with me about, moving from that space of being kind of alone. And I don't know, is there anything that you could talk on and share as far as your own experience and what you would share with other people who are going through the same things? Yeah,
I know before I became a Christian, I would hear, the terms, people saying brothers and sisters. And I always thought, what is that? Was that just something people say? But I really experienced that. I mean, when I was on my own, I would have people who would come and I remember there was one Christmas when there was a lot of snow and ice, and someone from the church who had a truck, and I didn't even ask him, came to my house and took me to the grocery store so I could get meals for Christmas.
Wow.
Or one time I hurt myself and somebody brought me a Christmas tree up like a flight of stairs and put it up. And it was always, I could never feel like I was alone. There was always someone who would call me or talk to me or, and really in a caring, close way. So I got to know what it really meant. And yeah, I would tell people that it really is true. People become your family, and you really connect on a deeper level. No matter what church you go to, when you walk in, those people are your brothers and sisters, and you really can feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a level of investment, I think, too, that is our own responsibility as well. Like, I know that you said that you started attending Westside in January, and you have jumped right in. You reached out immediately to try and connect with people and find the place where you where you fit, really, I guess, and you've been looking for it ever since. And I think that that's amazing. So I know that when we first talked, you were interested in finding ways to do that. And so you joined the hospitality team. And we get to see you there every Sunday, which is really awesome. And I love the way that you encourage people, the way when they're coming in. And I love the way that you encourage the people that you're serving with as well. On Sunday, I saw you hanging out with Carly's little girls, and it was really fun.
They really, when I'm standing there with the program and I don't feel bad when people go and want to get the program from them.
Oh, absolutely.
They're adorable.
They are adorable. That's awesome. Yeah. And then you're a part of our group too, which I absolutely love all of your insights and I love the way that you encourage the people in our group as well. Is there something in particular that you love or enjoy about either one of those experiences and getting involved?
So the two things that I do other than you being in your group is the hospitality. I just love seeing people come in and giving them a warm smile and being welcoming. That's what struck me first about Westside. When I came in, everyone was so friendly and genuinely so. And so I wanted to recreate that for the people who came. And I look forward to it every Sunday, to standing there and handing people the program and saying hello and just greeting them. It's just really special to make them feel welcome. And I also serve on the food brigade, and that is amazing too. I look forward to that every week as well.
Yeah. It's awesome to be in a team that really connects and supports one another, and then also is faced outward. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So when you got connected, how was it that you knew where the right fit was, as far as like Pastor Gabe talked about getting on mission? You know what I'm asking? Like, how did you know where you wanted to try and investigate?
So I've tried a lot of things. As I said, the first place where I really was a part of a faith community was a church plant. And when you're in a church plant, you end up doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who's just a worker, and I just will do whatever's necessary. And I think really when something fits, it's something that you look forward to and you don't feel like it's an obligation. I did some things and, they were fine. A lot of people, because I was a teacher, wanted me to and I can do that, but if it feels like an obligation, it's not the right fit. But if it's something that you really look forward to and you feel like you're using your gifts, I'm retired now, but I really miss being around people. That's why I love the hospitality team. I miss being around people and talking to people and greeting my students. And so that's the closest thing to me. And again, that's what I would encourage people to try things out, try something different. I probably would not have thought of being on the hospitality team as my number one. If you had just given me a sheet of things to sign up for, I probably wouldn't have signed up for that.
Yeah. Well,
but I tried it and I knew immediately. I thought, this is what I want to do.
Awesome. That's really cool.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Midweek Motivation. To make sure you don't miss any content in the future, please subscribe, share, and if you enjoyed this, give us a like, and consider popping by a Westside service some weekend. You can find out more at westsidecommunitychurch.com.